All right, guys, here we are. 2 Down, 1 Over podcast. I'm Josh Mason. This is Matt Flanagan. We're in the building, baby, trying to rock the mics. We got our boy, Geno Lewis, man, CFL wide receiver, all-star, most outstanding player. He's a Wilkes-Barre dude, man, Valley West, Meyers High School, Penn State, Oklahoma. The line's down there rolling, man. He comes with fame, strength. He rocks it out when he's in town. We love this dude. Hey, Geno, how we living?
I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all boys having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. I love that you made it. I know you're super busy. I know you're about to head into game week. But we wanted to just, tap in real quick, get your insight, see if we got any nuggets that we could share with the community and the youth, dude.
For sure, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So listen, how about for those, a lot of people locally know you, but let's give a brief background if you had to start, where you're born, raised, and how you came up and where you are today.
Yeah. So I'm born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I lived there with my 4 brothers and sisters until I was about 12. Ended up moving to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania when I was 13 in 7th grade with my father. He was actually coming to Wilkes-Barre. He was in rehab. He was getting his life together. Ended up becoming a pastor and things like that. So when I moved up there, he really seen the potential in me. My dad, he played basketball, went to Pitt, went to South Alabama, got drafted in 1989 draft by the Utah Jazz. NBA guy, yep. My sister, Alexis Lewis, she's the all-time leading scorer in Willamette Valley Conference from Holy Redeemer. She scored over 2,400 points. My little brothers,
wow.
Yeah, man, come on.
Right?
My little brother Emmanuel, he's actually about to go to LCC now. He's going to play basketball. He's graduating this year. So got a lot of athletes in my family. It was always a big competition. Ended up going to Willamette Valley West High School. I had to transfer my last semester of high school to Meyers. My dad, I got a job at a church out there, and ended up playing my last basketball season. And then I committed to Penn State my junior summer going into my senior year. Committed to Penn State University, and then I ended up doing my last grad transfer year at Oklahoma University. So played with a lot of great dudes, man, and then ended up coming to Canada. This is year 6-7 for me because we didn't have a COVID year in 2020. But been three-time East All-Star, 2-time CFL All-Star, 2022 most outstanding player of the East. Yeah, man, just been grinding, man. I've been grinding.
Give him the bag, man. Give him the bag, baby.
Yeah, man, just every day, man. You know what I'm saying?
I like it, man.
Yeah, man. So just working, man. It's all about the grind, man. It's all about how bad you want it for real, man.
It is, man. Flowers, dude.
Yeah,
what you got?
Fantastic. So I know of you a little bit, and I got to work with you a little bit. So
yeah,
it seems like you've just kind of gotten better as your career goes on. And I remember the Edmonton move, and we were all celebrating you, and that was like a huge move for you, and super exciting. So talk about you growing as a player. What is that like from high school Geno to Penn State to Oklahoma, and then you're at Montreal and now Edmonton, because now it feels like, man, you're into such a rhythm. You had such an amazing year last year, and now where are you at? Where does all this growth come from?
I like it.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's a great question. So coming up in high school, when I was in middle school, George Curry, he was our coach, the varsity coach at Valley West. So he's seen a lot of potential in a lot of guys early. And in me, he's seen it in me early. And when I was in 7th, 8th grade, 8th grade, when I was in 8th grade, he ended up taking me on my first visit to Penn State. We went up there. He told Joe Paterno, listen, man, in about 3-4 years, y'all gonna want this kid right here. Literally told him. And me, I'm a kid. I see the training table. I'm seeing all this stuff for the first time. I'm 14, 15. I'm like, man, I want this. This is something that I really need. And scholarships are expensive, man. So, my family couldn't really afford all that at the time. So it was I had to make a way. I ended up committing to Joe Paterno. He ended up passing away not too long after. And then Bill O'Brien came in once I got to Penn State. But just the development of my game, in high school, my freshman and sophomore year, I was really a quarterback and safety. That's what I was really playing. They were developing me to be a quarterback coming up because Terrell Pryor was coming out. So that's kind of who they were. That's kind of who they were trying to put me listen, you could be better than him and you can do this. And but I always knew deep down, I always knew I was going to play receiver. I played quarterback my junior and senior year of high school just because I knew I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I always had confidence in my ability as playing quarterback, but I also knew like everything it came with, like especially when you get to college. When you get to college, man, you really gotta be the first one there, the last one to leave.
You gotta know the book inside out, everybody's position.
Everything. Yep. And mind you, not saying that I couldn't have did that, which I could, but I also just wanted to. I love playing receiver. I love to like have, you get more looseness, you know what I'm saying, playing receiver and can do stuff. So and I knew I could develop as a receiver because of basketball. You know, the translation of basketball and football, like the correlation is huge if you really break it all down and put it all together. Like you can go through the 1 through 5 positions in basketball and know exactly what they would probably play on the football field. You know what I mean? Just if you really broke it all down. So, getting to Penn State, redshirted my first year. Athletically, I was ready, but mentally, I wasn't ready yet. When Bill O'Brien got there, we were learning the New England Patriots offense when he got there with Christian Hackenberg. So it was like that was actually Matt McGloin was my first quarterback when I was redshirting there. So just like learning a pro style offense coming from high school, and we just doing signals and run as many plays as you can. It was kind of like a big transition from me transitioning back to receiver because I had the footwork as a quarterback. So it was like I had to flip it, you know what I mean? And the redshirt year was great for me. I was able to be on scout team and go against the first defenses every year, figuring out, the things that I had to work on, things that I had to really, the little details. And then, as time went on there, I kept getting better. But then when I got to Oklahoma in 2016, that's when I really seen, like, we had some fast dudes at Penn State. Don't get it twisted. We had fast dudes. But when I got to Oklahoma, that's when I really seen, like, real speed, like Big 12 speed. They not really worried about big receivers. They want dudes that's like 5'8", 5'9", but they 150 pounds wet. You know what I'm saying?
Cooking though.
Yeah, cooking.
Right.
Cooking. When I got there, I seen D.D. Westbrook was the first receiver that I had seen there, and that's when I really seen, like, okay, I gotta like transition my game to this a little bit. Like I can still play like a Big Ten receiver, but I gotta play faster. You know what I mean? Yep. And just going to Oklahoma, the workouts were completely different. Like Big Ten, it's more we gotta put this weight on y'all, man, because y'all going against these DBs that are 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds, and linebackers that's 250, 260. So but Big 12, it was like DBs is 5'9", 170, 180 because they got to run. They got to run with these fast dudes. So when I got there, I was kind of unique because they're like, it seemed like he's not crazy fast, but he's sudden and he can jump and he can run routes. So it was kind of like, it caught him off guard a little bit because I was using my body. I'm a real physical receiver too, so I was using my body. They weren't used to that. They used to just chasing dudes and stuff like that. And that transition that helped me in just thinking faster and playing faster and just developing my game of, being more explosive. And that really transitioned to coming up here, to Canada with the waggle. With the waggle, you know what I'm saying? You get the little head start. I played every position. When I first got up here, I was supposed to get cut about 2 times in 2018 and 2019. But I ended up just pressing it through. And the pros is different because you start seeing like it's more of a business now. Like if you're going to get cut, they're going to cut you right now, and you're going home, and it's really nothing. So like just the sense of urgency of, hey man, you got to stay on your stuff every single day because they're trying to bring in somebody to take your spot every single day. Like that's when you have to really focus in and lock in on the little things that you do really good, and then get better at the things that you need to get better in.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I like that.
So, you get there, you change your game. Now talk about the connection from Montreal into like leading into this season. So like last year you had an outbreak season, right? Like you was up for the most outstanding player in the whole CFL. So like from last year to the year before that, like what was the difference? What was the difference there?
The difference in that year was the focus. So mind you, when I got to Montreal, we were winning 3 games. Mind you, we played 18-game seasons, right? So when I first got to Montreal, we won like 3 games. In the second year, we won like 4 or 5 games. But it was the culture. It was just the culture. It was so much in Montreal, it was so much, just transitioning going on. There were so many head coaches coming in there. There was so many new owners. There was so many new GMs. There was so many new presidents. There was so much turnover, man. Like, and to have stability in anything in life, you need to have, things in place. You need to have a great foundation. You know what I mean? And it got tough just with the, like you said, the turnover over and over. New position coach, new head coach, new GM, new owner, new president, like every single year. So it's just like, I got to give credit to the people who also made it through all that, because it's not hard to make it through that. Because sometimes when you're somebody's guy, you're somebody's guy. So when new people come in, they might look at you different than the other staff did because you just weren't one of their guys. But I was always able to just kind of like be the eraser. I never worried about none of that stuff. My thing was, if you go out there, make the plays, do the things that they ask you to do, but also make the crowd like, woo, ha, ha. It's going to be hard for them to get rid of you. Like, and that's what my dad always told me. He said, listen, you're an entertainer also than an athlete. Like, you got to go out here and entertain these people. Like, every time you go out here on this field, you got to make them say, ooh, ah, because that's what's always going to keep you alive every single time in this game.
Right. Yeah, see, that was smart, man. And see, with your pop's background, that's great knowledge. He's kicking game.
Yeah.
And that's a huge resource. Your pops is a huge resource. I like it. So, G, tell us, like, we deal with a lot of young athletes, and obviously we deal with the football players, and everybody in this culture nowadays is D1. They want to go D1, right? Like, that's the big thing. Like, I want to go D1, and hey, listen, we want to help you get there, right? But we know it's far in between of really making it there, man. There's only a small percentage that could get to that level, and once you get to that level, play at that level and be successful. So, if you, like, what are you telling the kids? And let's say age range from like 13 to 16. What are you telling that age group, like, where their mental should be, what type of work ethic they should have, and what they should be thinking in this journey of, as of now, my dream is to go to the league, right? Like, what are you saying? Like, what are you telling them?
Well, first thing first, what we have to understand is that, times change and you kind of got to adjust to it. For some people, it's harder than others. Like for me, one of the main things that I've realized that has changed the game a little bit now, just for the youngins, for the youth, is the social media. So like the social media thing about it is like, when I was coming up, having stars, 4 or 5 stars, it was cool, but it was kind of just like, it was just kind of a new thing. Like if you had it, it was cool, but if you didn't, it didn't really matter. Like now, that matters more to some of these kids than really being successful. Like, you know what I mean? And people got I'll give you a perfect example. When I first got to Penn State, I was a 4-star. I was All-American, played in the offense, defense, All-American Bowl in Dallas, and stuff like that coming out of high school. So, when you get to college, like your freshman year, you have like the full team meeting, and then like they made the freshmen go up in front of all the older players, in front of everybody, and you had to tell your accolades. You had to tell who you was, what you did, and you would go up there. Some guys would be, I'm a 5-star, All-American, blase. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in here to get a job. Coach O'Brien goes, he's like, yeah. So all of y'all that was 5 stars and 4 stars. Yeah, none of that shit matters anymore. We got you. Like, it's straight like that. He said, we got you. He said that we don't care that you were a 4-star, 5-star. We don't care about that. You probably going red shirt because y'all probably not going to be ready. You think y'all ready, but you're probably not going to be ready. Boom. When you hear that, it's like it's going to make or break you because
it's an oh shit moment.
Yeah,
it's an oh shit moment, right?
Oh, they were telling me all of this and that when I was in high school, and you're going to do this, you're going to do all of that. And once you sign that letter of intent, none of that matters anymore. So, for these youth, I would love to get them to understand, like, you don't have to be making 1,000 videos to show people, like what you do all the time. That stuff is good and it's great, and you should do that. Like, you should promote your brand and you should do things like that. But what's happening now is, especially like with the NIL deals and things like that, people are getting money earlier now. Kids are getting money faster now. So now, when you get the money faster, it's kind of like, okay, do I have to keep going, elevating like to this level and to this level? And football, it's like, I can go to college now and I can get an NIL deal for $3.5 million. Do I want to leave
straight?
3 years now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, do I want to leave now? I could be the man at a college now for 4 or 5 years and get money that I could be getting in the league now, but I don't have to deal with all the extra stuff. So it's like, well, people have to understand, for one, you got to know, these young kids I tell now, you got to know why you're doing it, what you're doing it for, and how you're going to do it. You know what I mean? Because you have to understand, like, you have to have a plan. You always have to have a plan going into something. If you just try to go into something and you just go with the flow, it's going to be hard, because there's going to be a couple other people that have plans and they got goals and they're trying to get to those. And you got to know what you're doing it for. Like what deep down makes you compete each and every day, get up each and every day and have to go run on that field and go work out and get up. Like you said, everybody want to go D1. But do you want to get up for them 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m. workouts every 3 days a week? Because that's part of it. You want to go to get up for 8 a.m. class, but before the 8 a.m. class, you got workouts at 6 in the morning, and then you have to hurry up and rush to get to that 8 a.m. class so you're not late, so you don't have a dawn patrol the next morning because you was late to class. You know what I mean? It's so much that these kids
and maintain grades.
Yeah, grades, man. Main thing. It's the main thing. Like school. If you don't have the good grades, you're not going to play on this field. It's simple, and that's what it is. And these kids got to realize, man, like, it's bigger than just looking cool and being cool. Like, you got to go and put the work in when nobody's looking. When ain't no cameras, when ain't nothing like that. Are you at nighttime? Are you going into that field? Are you putting in that extra work to make sure that the person behind you isn't going to get ahead of you? You know what I'm saying? In that spot. And like, these kids, I just really try to tell them, man, like, you really got to work hard. Like, the harder that you work and the more focus that you put on your game, instead of trying to make 1,000 videos just so you can get some clout or get famous on IG and all that stuff, man, because it's a trend. That stuff ends. You know what I'm saying? But your work ethic, that lasts forever, depending on how hard that you're going to go. So my main thing for them is, man, it's the work ethic, and it's the people that you surround yourself with. When I come home and I go to fame, I know I'm surrounded by people that's trying to help me get better each and every day, on and off the field. You know what I mean? You got to surround people that want better for you and that are trying to help you reach to something. Because listen, man, everybody can't make it with you. You know what I'm saying? You always going to have something. It's family, best friends. Everybody's not going to make it, because at the end of the day, everybody doesn't have the same mindset. Some people might be looking at you like, okay, you doing everything, so we just going to lean on you to do everything. And it's like, man, everybody has to have their role in this thing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got my part, you got your part, and we got to put this all together and try to be able to, build each other up. And, on that football field, man, when it comes down to it, man, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. And the coaches, that's what they're going to go off of. If you're going to produce, good. If you're not going to produce, you're not going to play. It's simple as that.
Period. Yeah. I love the insight. And just quick to piggyback that, if you had the opportunity to go back to talk to high school Geno, what would you tell him?
Ooh, that's a good
right?
That's a good question, man. If I could go back and tell myself, I would honestly, what I would probably do is I would tell myself to slow down like in the game, like mentally, like, because sometimes when you're young, you're used to taught to be like fast, like, instead of, but as I got older, I realized that controlling yourself, like mindset on the field and physically, it makes everybody play at your tempo. It makes everybody have to be like, okay, he's not moving too fast, but he is moving kind of fast, but I don't know what he's really about to do right here. So it's kind of like, I think sometimes in high school, I was moving too fast, and I would have definitely been more into, like, I did film sessions with my high school coach, Pat Keating. I did sessions with him, but I think sometimes when I was younger, I kind of took it for granted a little bit, and I wasn't really hearing. I heard what he was saying, but I was kind of going off of like athletic ability and, like, hey, we playing such and such, man. We gonna beat them by 30. They don't ever, you know what I mean? It was kind of like that. But then when you get to college and everybody's fast and everybody's smart, now you got to figure out how you're gonna separate yourself on the next levels, and that's kind of how it goes. Like, each level that you get to, it's okay. It's an equal playing ground now. How you gonna separate yourself from everybody else now?
Right. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great insights, man. Because that's what I was thinking as you were talking. Is like, you know, what's the difference between the levels? And you know, I played Division III basketball, and and I tell kids, I'm like, yo, if you are going to play a sport, no matter what level, you gotta love it. It's not like you can't love how it looks for you. You really gotta love it, because you're gonna put a lot of time in. So thanks for diving into that a little bit. I think that's great insights. And you know, another thing that we kind of been talking about, we talk about a lot, is culture. So you talked about the fame, strength, culture. So thanks for the shout out. Appreciate that. It's good stuff. You're surrounded by good people, and you have a unique perspective because you played on Penn State, Oklahoma. Okay, you played on different teams. Now, looking at a team aspect, like how important is that culture, and what are some key qualities of that? And like, how do you build culture? How do you build chemistry? And like, talk about what you're trying to do now, and like what we talked about, I guess, before we got this thing rolling.
Yeah, man. So culture thing is huge, man. So you got to understand, like, it's really, when it comes to the culture, it's a lot of the little stuff. You need guys to buy into what you have going on. Like, perfect example, it's like when we go to team meetings. Like, I've been on teams where you didn't have to wear team issue stuff, or I've been on teams where you had to wear team issue stuff, and then I've been on teams where it's half and half. It's like, you need to get everybody on the same page. If we go and wear a team issue, we all gonna be in here and we all gonna wear a team issue. If we're not gonna wear a team issue, then we're not gonna come in here and wear a team issue. But if you wanna bring guys together, make guys, you know, wear team issues at all the meetings. You gotta also, when you're not in the facility, you gotta bring guys together, man, and do stuff, man. You gotta hang out with guys. Like, man, go to Topgolf, man. Bring your receiver group, bring them guys, bring everybody together, because once people get to know each other more, you end up realizing that you got a lot more in common with certain people that you had no idea, because you never talked to them. You might have never talked to them. You might have never said nothing. And, you know, for us, it's about, you know, you got to have guys who want the best for the next person, and that's going to trust the person next to them also. Like, you could be out there, man. You as a receiver, you could be out there running all the routes that you want. But if you don't believe in your quarterback, you're not on the same page. So that means you're not going to be on the same culture. If you're playing safety and there's a corner, you got cover two. The safety is telling the corner, listen, you gotta make him go inside. Make him get in there so I can get over the top, so I can get to the hash. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to trust in people. Once you start getting people who are going against the grain, they don't wanna do the extra workouts. They don't wanna, you know, do the things that they're supposed to be doing. That's when little groups start breaking up, and then you start hearing, hey, such and such is like this, and such and such is like that. And then it's, okay, now you got to click over here, click over here, click over here. And now it becomes chaos when everything goes wrong. Now, like I was saying before, now when you start losing, now each click is by themselves. Now you got 4 teams on one team, and now you can't figure it out. So it's like the culture is, and it also deals with the coaches in the upstairs office. A lot of people don't understand, man. It's the top down. It comes from the top down, because everybody upstairs has to make it an environment that people want to be in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've been in places where it's like, man, I just got to be here because I don't have no choice. But like, I just got to make it work. You can feel it. Like, you're like, man, like, this is not the culture for me, but like, I got to make this work just so I can keep my career going and keep my things going. But it's a way to go about it. Don't be a cancer to a team where I don't care about nobody. And then you start getting personal, and then you start talking about people and this and that. And it's just so much that can happen. But, you know, for us and what we're doing now, trying to be here in Edmonton, we're really literally trying to erase everything that they had these last 2 years, erase all of it. And if you even have a doubt of anything in you that makes you feel like we won't win a home game this year, you don't need to be here, because that's not part of the culture that we're thinking right now. And mind you, I'm new in this organization, but I also know what I bring to the table. I know the things that I'm here. Like, when people get around me, I want them to feel confident, like, hey man, Gene gonna make them plays all the time. So if he gonna do it, I gotta do it too. You wanna make it a domino effect every single time, man. You wanna and also the thing is with me is now too is it's crazy because y'all know me so, but like here, like I just turned 30 in April. Like I'm an older vet now. Like I'm a real older vet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, yeah. Now I'm getting to that OG status now and things like that. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, dang, man, I ain't that old yet, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you got to understand, like, I got guys that's like 25, 26.
Yeah, coming in.
Hey, yeah, like hey, OG, right. Yo, you think you can help me with this? I'm like, OG, they calling me OG and stuff now. Like that's kind of the next transition that you got to go with. You know what I'm saying? Because when you establish yourself and you do stuff in the league, now people are looking like the expectations are high. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now it's when Gene's out there, they expect me to do this and they expect me to do that, and as they should, and that's what I want. That's what I want. You know what I mean? And my whole thing is to help these young guys prepare for that pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because pressure makes, you know what I'm saying, dust to diamonds. You know what I'm saying? So which one do you want to be? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, for me, that's kind of how I've been transitioning now, just in the sense of like this culture thing. And mind you, now I always kind of been more of a I show you my game type of person, and that's how you're gonna hear me. But you know, I've been more vocal now. I've been more talking in the huddles, and a lot of guys are believing in it now. They're like, man, we like what you're saying, and we like what you're talking about, and we with you all the way, Gene. So that's something that I'm dealing with now that I love. But again, everything you got to be consistent in football field. Everything you got to be consistent. They want to see consistency every single year, and that's how you stay successful.
And Gene, you touched on it essentially, right? But now moving into your chapter right now, as you say in the OG to vet, now it's essentially like you got to become a leader. Now it's leadership, right? So tell me, what do you think needs to be done to be qualified as a great leader? And what are some qualities that that have to exist to have that leadership, to take that on? Because like you said, you weren't that guy. You were the guy like, I'm just going out there and showing what I could do. But now people expect things from you because you are the vet. You are the outstanding player. So coming to a new team, there has to be some type of leadership in there. And I think that's for any successful person. There's a time in your life where you become a leader. And what qualities need to be there, and what things do you need to do to make sure that's carried out?
Absolutely, man. So I'm gonna be real with you. The first thing the way that I see it is, and as me just coming up, a lot of guys respected dudes who are really good on the field. First things first. You know what I'm saying? They really appreciated the guys who would go out on the field and they were consistent at what they do each and every game. Now, mind you, with that's being said, you don't have to be the best player on the field to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? You can also be a leader in many different ways. But I'm talking about if you want to catch everybody's attention and people really lock into what you say, most of the time it's a good player on the team. So, boom. For me, again, the pros are a little different. So because you're dealing with money now, a lot of people see money too now. So that's the other thing that comes into it. And you know, with me now this year, becoming the highest paid non-quarterback in the CFL, that's a big thing. Like for a receiver to get there and do that, it's huge. So now I'm looked at as a quarterback. I'm looked at as a franchise player. You know what I'm saying? And my main goal is to help all the receivers get to this point. I want it to be regular. I don't want it just to be I'm the only one that's in that situation. I want the next generation to be able to be in the same situation that I was in. And now I'm just trying to help prepare them for, like you said, being a leader. You do have to have some attitude. You have to have some attitude being a leader, because you have to deal with the good and the bad. When it's good, they're going to come to you. And when it's bad, they're going to come to you. You've got to be able to talk to your coaches. You have to be able to have a relationship with them, because they're going to come to you as the guy, because most coaches, they want most teams to have to deal with things with the players. Like, hey, listen, we got our leader. Hey, look, go take care of that, handle that, and then come back to me and let me know that it was all taken care of. That's really what they want. They don't really want to have to get into it if they don't have to. Some of the qualities that you have to have, man, too, like I said, was you have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to sacrifice, because you are going to sacrifice some situations that you don't want to, but it's better for the team. It's going to help y'all win. If your main goal is to win and it's not all about you, you will be able to sacrifice, especially if you know that same person next to you will sacrifice for you at any time too. The other thing about leadership that I would definitely say is you have to have self-control, man. You got to have self-control. It's key, because it's like, because you're the leader, it's always two ways to do it now. You can do it the nice way, or you can do it the way that, hey, I know you don't want to hear this, but you need to hear this. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, that can cause tension between, relationships and stuff. But again, it's a way to say it. Sometimes people hear people's tone and not the message, which you have to understand. Like, you have to hear the message that somebody is trying to tell you, because even though it may come out wrong sometimes, it really is for the better, for you and the team. And if like you said, as a leader, if that player or if the person respects you enough to really know who you are and know, like, he's telling me this for the better, and he's just not trying to bash me, he's not trying to bring me down or degrade me and things like that, they're going to take it in the best way possible. They're going to say, you know what? He's been through so much, man. Like, he's somebody I need to listen to. Like, people's stories, man, people's stories are huge too. Like, if people know that you've been through some things that they've been through, oh, they're going to run through a wall for you. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, like those are probably the main things of being a leader that I always felt that you needed to have, and just being able to make people listen to you, being able to make people listen to you and go to war for you, man. That's what I feel like a really great leader is.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
I love that, dude. That is such, like, man, I got the chills hearing you say that, because one thing that you said is, like, you want this for other people. And I think that's like you just described leadership to a T, and like what we would look for in, like, a captain on the basketball team or something like that. Now, so A, thank you. That was phenomenal. And like B, like, was that always within you? Is that always, because I feel like, even myself included, in high school, I was more selfish. I want, like, it was me, I got to get mine. And like, I thought I was a leader. And like you said, like, I did great things on the court, but that didn't necessarily make me a great leader. And as I got older, it's like, yes, I do want this for other people. And coaching, yes, I do want this for other people. So, like, explain to me where you get this mindset from, and like, did it develop, or did you always kind of have that?
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say that I always kind of had it, but my dad definitely always helped me with that situation, because, mind you, my dad was that guy. He was the leader that wasn't a good leader. He was the best player on the team, but he was prideful. You know what I'm saying? So he was the type of person where I don't care what you got to say. I'm gonna go out here and get 30, and that's what we gonna do. And listen, he was just like, I don't care. And the pride, and he loved the shine, and he loved the fame, and he would take advantage of it.
Ego, sure, right?
Ego was the ego. It was the ego. And my dad always told me, man, listen, your ego can be your greatest success or your greatest downfall. So it's up to you of how you're going to use that ego, and how you're going to express that to people. And my main goal was always to have an ego that people wanted to be around, like people gravitated towards. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about. You want people to gravitate to you. So that's how people are listening. Like, hey man, like, I get people that tell me today, like in Whisper, like, hey man, when you get a chance, like, when you come home, like, can we get some workouts? It's young guys, man, telling me this. And mind you, if I could, I would be home, and I would do as much as I can for these people right now. But right now, I know my goal is to be the example. And, after I'm done my football and stuff all like that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to give this knowledge to those people and stuff back home. And I'm going to do some things during the off season, but it's just about, again, remember I told you got to have a plan. You know what I'm saying? Right now, my plan is to establish myself, set this foundation, make it to where people will respect me for the things that I have done on the field and off the field. Because like I said, people going to listen to people that they've seen do things and that they respect. So, man, like, just in the sense of, like, for me, I always knew I had leadership ability in me. It was just about each year I had to progress on. I had to get better and better of, like, being more vocal. The more vocal thing was more for me, because like I said, I was always the type to just go out and ball, and it would speak for itself. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But as you get older, you realize that, okay, that's not gonna last forever. That just me balling and playing, that's not gonna last forever. So like I said before, if you don't transition as the time is going, you're gonna get left behind. You will get left behind. So you gotta keep going, keep transitioning as time is going on. And just like you said, you got to be around other leaders, because they teach you other leader qualities, like, you know what I mean? Especially when you're learning how to be one. So that's my whole thing is right now, I'm a sponge with that right now. Being a leader, I'm a sponge with that. I'm a sponge. I'm trying to learn, from the best guys and just getting the best advice that I can.
I like it.
Awesome.
And listen, I think a big component is self-development, right? And you just touched on that. So, like, let me ask you this. Where do you get your knowledge, or like you seek model like behavior or obviously role models? Is it books? Is it podcasts? Is it certain individuals? Like, where do you gain your, like, how do I learn? Like, I continue to learn. I go to seminars, I read books, but are there certain things that you always tap into to make sure that you're constantly developing?
For me, it's more so players, man. So like being in the pros now, you like it's no team is ever the same. Like after a year, like you're always gonna see new guys come in, and you're always gonna see some guys that stay. But the thing with me is, I've been playing around so many people now that like different people from all over the world.
Right.
You just start seeing a different mind. You start seeing a different mindset. Like you said, like you go to seminars. When you go to a seminar, you get to a seminar, it's people from all over, all over. And then you start seeing like, oh, this is how y'all do it down south or out west or in the Midwest. You like, yeah, I might have heard of something like that before, but I ain't never really put it to the test. I never really thought it was something that could really help. And maybe it's because of the area that you're in. Maybe it's just because it's something that you just never learned, or like you said, never developed. But it's like when you start learning from other people, you start putting your things that you know and their things, you start just putting them all together. You start putting it all together. Like for me, I definitely do listen to some podcasts. I'm a big like when it comes to like football stuff, I'm a big video dude. So I watch a lot of like Ray Lewis stuff. You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of Larry Fitzgerald, because Larry Fitzgerald to me, he was always a quiet, loud player.
Yes.
Like he ain't have to say too much for you to know he's here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And he just was doing the right things for year on, year out, back to back to back. So it's like consistency, man. So it's like it's guys like that who, and I'm gonna say this too, like times are changing, so sometimes it's hard to find people like that now. You know what I mean? Because the way people look at the game is a little different now. Like back in the day, a lot of people was doing it for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? It was really the love of the game, and this is all I got. And if this don't work, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Like I said, now things are starting earlier for guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know, if you 16, 17 and you got an NIL deal for $1.2 million, it's like, I made it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I kind of made it already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, you're not thinking of, I got to get to it right now, because you got something right now. But it's just the simple fact of like, man, just going through life. Like, I just feel like going through life too. Like, it's not even, people got to understand, like, football is not all about football. Like, you learn about life in football, because you got to think too, like, in the pros, man, you got people who go through stuff every day. People got kids, people are married, people paying mortgages back home, people doing so much stuff. Like, you don't know what everybody else is going through outside of this football thing all the time. So you got to be able to appreciate the people that you're around who are here to help us each and every day, because you never know, you know, when it's your last day or when it's your last time playing on the field. You know what I'm saying? And everything completely changes for your whole life. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I always just try to break it down, man. Like, just developing my mind and things like this. So just like you said, just being around good people who I know can help me get to the next level.
Right. I respect that. You want to wrap them up?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go ahead.
I'm excited. All right, so we always ask 3 quick hitters. All right, so you know, this is just questions. All right, like, you know, totally kind of off topic, changing gears a little bit. So, you know, my first question for you is this. Okay, you grew up in this area. All right, we're well known for our pizza. We really have good pizza. So what's your favorite pizza place?
Angelo's. I'm going Angelo's, and I'm getting sweet. I'm getting sweet sauce with pepperoni. I'm good.
There you go. Let's go, baby. So yo, listen.
Good.
Now you lived right down the street from Jerry's.
Yes,
so
I did. Yes, I lived on Daggerford Street.
You still take Angelo's over it?
I do. I like Jerry's. Jerry's is good too. Sure. You know what I'm saying? And I like Jerry's because they got the drive-through. That's a game changer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie. When I first came up to Wilkes-Barre, that was one of the first pizza places that people took me to, and it kind of like, I feel like whatever one I would have had first would have probably got.
Would have been right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And because I had Angelo's first, it was like, this is it, right? I ain't never had nothing like that before when I first came up there. So it kind of just changed my whole mindset.
And as you know, we're spoiled back here with pizza, dude. Like, we got great pizza all over. So what's Canadian pizza look like?
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
so mind you, I had a few dudes come up when I was in Montreal last year. They came up for a game, but I had one of my best friends, Rajay Dixon. He had him and his girl. They came up. They drove up here, and I told him, I said, listen, I need y'all to go to Angelo's. Get me like 3 larges.
Yeah.
Pepperoni, and I need the blue cheese on the side. I need the blue cheese on the side. That blue cheese, everything. And mind you, they brought that up. But I had a couple of my other friends. I had a friend from Jersey, Connecticut, that I played with at Penn State, and I gave it to them. Changed their life. I said,
"Changed life." I know, dude.
What is this?
Right.
Listen, I never had the sweet sauce like that before. I say, yeah, because you ain't never been to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Nah, man.
Come down here, man, and see what's going on.
People do not understand unless you're from here, like the level of pizza that's here. Like it's untouchable. And I would even go with wings too. I think it's hard to get wings outside this area too. Right?
That's a tough one. That's
tough. You can find them everywhere. It's tough with that. All right, next question. If you were to write a book, what's the title of that book?
The title of, if I wrote a book, the title would be, that's a good one. All right, so hold on. All right, boom. I got like 2 for you. So
I'm cool with it.
So the other day I had like a little debate. I had a little debate with a couple of people in here in the locker room and stuff like that. And one of the things that came up, like for a book, it was like a question and answer type of thing, but it was kind of like we was debating on stuff. But I would do a book that's called WR. You know what I'm saying? So you would think receiver,
right?
But it would be for would you rather.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah.
All right.
So mind you, it would be would you rather, but it would be all sports questions though. It would be based on sports, like would you rather?
I like that.
Yeah,
which is something cool. And then the other, I ain't gonna lie, honestly, the other.
Now say the book about you, like
the book about me.
What's that called?
It would probably be humble. I would just straight humble. It would just be called humble. It would be humble, and it would literally break down, basically my life and why it would explain to you why I am the way I am. And it would explain to you why I am so humble. But if you I'm very humble. But if you see me on a sports field, you probably see a whole different person.
Think different, right? Yeah, sure.
Right. You probably think
that's the alter ego.
It's the alter ego. But
I already know
from that humility, it'll tell you exactly why I'm like that on the field. It would tell you everything that I've been through in my life. It tells you, it would explain everything, and it'll be like, that's what I think a lot of people respect about me too. Is like, you're so humble, Gene, and you really don't have to be, but you really, really are. And it's just like, that's just me. That's just me as a person. I'm not even trying to be. That's just who I am. That's just how I came up. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm a really, really think deep into that too, man. I'm a really but humble would be right now. But I'm gonna get you some other stuff too, man.
Good. We planting the seed. We planting the seed, man. All right.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
All right, here's the last question. What is there a day-to-day motto that you live by, and what is it?
My day-to-day motto is no excuses, doesn't matter, make it happen. That's it.
That's beautiful.
That's it, man. It's
say it again, Geno.
Man.
Say it again.
No excuses, doesn't matter, make it happen. That's it.
Thank you.
Nobody wants to hear your excuses.
I say that shit a lot to people, dude. No excuses, dude. Just make it happen. I don't want to hear nothing,
bro.
That don't mean nothing to me. Just make it happen.
Make it happen, man. Make it happen. That's it. Like, and that's how I live. That's how I live my life. That's how I live on the field. I don't care what coverage it is. I can run any route in any coverage. I'm gonna make it happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's what it is.
That's what you believe, man, because you got the mind right, baby. You got that
mindset, baby.
That's good. Listen, dude, I love this, man. We could talk for hours. It was great catching up with you, dude. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait till you touch down. Hopefully, I would love to come up there and catch a game. So maybe
listen. Whenever
line that up.
Whenever y'all are able, y'all let me know. I had a setup for y'all and everything. I got the tickets for y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is where to stay. I'll figure all that out. Just let me know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you my schedule, and then boom, you let me know what's going on.
100%, dude, because that's a business trip right there.
It is. And mind you, I just want y'all to see like the demographic of this whole thing, so people can really understand. Like, it's like this out here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's all it is.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
like that. And tell our boy Jake. I know
Jake,
you met
my
him.
boy.
Tell our
man.
boy Jake, man. He's a
Hey.
beast.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah, he's straight
that
dog.
boy's a dog, man. He
Yeah,
is. He is.
partially outside.
Yeah. All right, nice.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Very cool.
Yep.
Well, Geno, listen, man, blessings to you, bro. I want to see you succeed and take over the world, man. You already know that. So, like, all praises to you. Make sure you keep doing what you're doing. You on the right path. You are inspiring, motivating everyone back at home, and the youth looks up to you. I'm so happy to have you on because I can't wait to drop it so people can listen to it. We have tons of athletes that need to hear it, you know, from cats that are doing it. You know what I'm saying? And really have some advice for them. So I love having you on this, dude. And I can't wait to catch up with you, man. You know?
Sir, man. And we're gonna do even more when I get back to the crib, man. Do some more
Yeah.
stuff for these
I'm with it.
youth, man. Everything.
You know
and I know, and mind you, I know how hard y'all work. Y'all work ethic is top notch. And I tell people all the time, man, listen, if y'all are in the Long Valley area, man, and all that, y'all need to go to Fame Straight because that's where they're developing these kids and getting them better mentally, phically, and emotionally each and every day, man. And that's all I know.
Yeah,
so
we appreciate that.
Man,
we appreciate it. Last, let's leave your some of your social media so people could contact you. Where they follow?
Sir. So my Twitter is Geno all day 7. My IG is No Gram Geno. You know what I'm saying? Those are who you can follow me at, man. And you know, let's get it. I got a documentary on my IG. You know what I'm saying? You can learn a little more about me and stuff.
Already peeped it too. Yup.
Yeah,
Fire.
Yeah. So if whoever want to go and see that, man, you want to learn a little bit more about me, go on there, man. You see it all, man.
That's it, man. You heard the man. No excuses. It doesn't matter. Make it happen, right? I'm Josh. This is Matt. This is Geno. 2 Down, 1 Over podcast.
Geno,
we out. Geno, be good, man.
Good luck, man.
Good luck this week,
Appreciate
dude.
it. All right. Y'all be good, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.